Good afternoon and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mikołaj Lauer. Today I will be presenting a webinar about one of XTM connectors. It's the Adobe Experience Manager connector. I will be showing the AEM Cloud to this end, and I would also like to show you the serial round tripping between AEM and XTM. But we will also focus on the AEM first and then XTM itself. From the point of view of managing the projects and also working in the XTM Workbench. And later I will also show you how that translated content is sent back automatically to AEM, and how you can also potentially update the existing project in XTM if it's needed, when, for example, someone makes changes in the English content in AEM site. A couple of housekeeping rules at the beginning. You are all on mute, but you have a chance to ask your questions in the questions box in the GoToWebinar panel, so feel free to do so. I will be looking at questions and answering them as you ask them. We have a questions and answer session after the demo, but if you have some questions that you would like to ask straight away, not to forget, you can also do it during the demo. I will try to answer them on the fly. So as I said, first, some intro to AEM and then round tripping between AEM and XTM. I would also like to show you just a little bit of configuration, how the XTM is connected with AEM, how we did that, and what are the important details in that realm. So let me just maybe close this presentation now, and I would like to go directly to AEM, which I have opened here. So the AEM Cloud, as I said, is going to be used today for to show you the XTM connector. And before I send a specific site for translation in XTM, I would like to show you the options regarding the configuration here under deployment here under tools. Some of you may already know the AEM itself. So we have the so-called cloud services and then translation cloud services, where we can first of all double check the configuration once the connector is installed, once the plugin is installed, because it comes in the zipped package. And we have two configuration containers, so to say. One of them is XTM connector, and the other one is translation integration, so specific to AEM. And in the translation integration, we also have a couple of, let's say, options to be selected at the beginning. And one of those would be, for example, human translation that you can use, right, for the projects coming from AEM to XTM, but you can also apply machine translation if you want in your projects in XTM. And then we have a couple of options, and one of them, which is quite vital, is auto execute translation. And this actually means that you can send the project directly from AEM, and in XTM the project will be created automatically, so you don't have to additionally start the project manually in AEM. This is the flow I'm going to show you later today. And you can also decide whether you want to translate tags, if you want to translate component strings. And you can also go to assets, and there are several options regarding the assets within AEM as well. You can translate assets, you can translate metadata as well. So there are additional pieces of information here that you can select as well. So this is the basic configuration when it comes to the translation integration. But the second one, and it's under the specific site, is related to XTM connector itself. And here you'll have specific details in this configuration, and which actually make the two systems connected. One of them is the specific company name that you have to give from your account in XTM, and then also the web service URL, and so that the systems can connect using API, and then the user ID and password. It's also possible, and it's also quite important, to select a template from within XTM. So you have different templates that you can select, right? So they are actually taken from XTM once you click connect to XTM. So then you can check if the connection is established. then you can select also a specific customer in XTM. So basically, for those of you who already know XTM, here is the place where you can select a specific customer in XTM under which the project will be created, and then the translation memory and all the project templates and other meta information will be applied. So this is also a very critical part of it, of the configuration itself. And also in the advanced section, one of the most important things that you can set here would be two options, really. XTM project creation strategy. And some customers want to have a new project created for each translation job. And I mean the project in XTM, of course. And then some customers always want to update the existing project if possible. And that means that if the project is, let's say, created, even if it's finished, right? If there is any update and in the existing project in the EM, you want to add some new content, or maybe you change something in English, let's say, as a source language, and you want to send it again, you don't have to create a new project, right? So I will show you that way today. So XTM will like detect the changes, and or AM will detect the change, and then we'll create a project. So that's basically something, not create a project, sorry. We'll update the existing project, which is something I would like to show you later. And also we have the launch strategy. We also can decide what should happen when you cancel an XTM project in AEM, right? So you can either archive the project, you can also delete the project and then keep the translation memory, or maybe delete the translation memory. So these actions that you can also perform from XTM itself. And also here we have the so-called XTM preview generator, which is now our generator developed by our developers, and we are not relying on AEM here. So something which we call a visual mode is actually to be used, and with XML files coming from XTM, from AEM, and with images and context, and that's something I wanted to show you today. So that's just a couple of words about configuration. I just thought it's quite important for you to show it at the beginning, for you to see it. And now let's send the site for translation in XTM. I already have my XTM instance open, so you will see how it goes. In the XTM sites, I will go to language master, and then I will create a language copy, because we can also work with live copies in AEM, but today I'm going to show you a language copy. And we are going to translate a magazine and the title called Arctic Surfing. And we have to go to language copies here to see what already is available. We only have the Arabic Kuwait here, but you can create a new one. And I would like to select German here to this end. We can also have multilingual projects, by the way, so the projects should be created in XTM. And then we can select, or we have to type in a title. So let's call it an AEM webinar and my initials. And now the project will be created. Let's see what happens. The translation project is already created. Now to see how it looks, we have to go to the projects, and we can do it here. Let's just take a look at projects. And the project is here. I can now click it and see what happened. As I said, the option to auto-execute translations means that the translation was already, or the project was already created in XTM. That's why it says committed and then translation in progress. So no need to go to this tile and then click start. It's not even available. Some of you may remember that it's also possible to have the manual way. So now I will go to projects, and let me update the project list in XTM as a translation management system. And then you can see that the project was created with language codes, because that naming convention, nomenclature, was actually selected in one of the settings that I was also showing in configuration. And you can see we have applied the project template, because the project was selected in the configuration, right? And then in the workflow, we have specific files which were sent for translation, and even the users are pre-assigned, as it normally happens with project templates. The project is already started in XTM, as you can see, simply because people were already assigned. So you can see how much time can be saved when you use this automated way, especially when you have the same resources working on the translations all the time. Let's say for a specific type of content that you send to XTM. But without further ado, I would like to go to XTM Workbench now and show you how it looks first, that content from AEM without any additional visual context, right? So you see we have just a normal XTM Workbench view with source and target. But for the, as I said, for the preview generator to work, we had to send some additional images which were sent as preview files, and then thanks to that we can open the visual mode, and now it's enabled. So I guess some of you may remember the visual mode working with InDesign files, doc files, and then this one or HTML, and here you can see XML with visual preview because we were able to send the images as well, and which accompany the text. So if I click a specific segment here, and you can see we have only German on the right, but obviously I can see both German and English, right? You can play with the view if you want. Those of you who, for example, run some in-country review or maybe signed in-country review to your internal stakeholders, and you can see that the stakeholder can actually open XTM Workbench. They can see the translation on the right. They can see some additional image if needed, right? Or if it's available, and they can see translation in context. So everything is here on the right. It's already translated because I used the machine translation just to speed things up. In some situations, we also have some translation memory matches, right? So whenever you make a change, and here, so for example, if I change any of these, let's say words, then it's going to be visible in my preview, right? So for example, if I change this and then change the word into, let's say, surfing in, maybe let's just do it here, by, and I change the name, for example, Mikołaj Lauer, and then go to the next segment, the change was shown immediately, right? So it's shown in yellow because I'm in the active segment. So always at the top you have a preview, and then below you have the working area, working space where you can make all the changes and translate the text, right? Also, an interesting thing, when you see the, let's say the text, which is basically initially here in green, this stands for the ICE match, so in context exact match, which means that if you also lock it potentially, right? So if the segments are locked, the translators or reviewers don't even have to touch them. So, and they can see them in green, like here, and which means that obviously they were green before I click it, and now it's yellow, but it's green, which means that this is a nice match. So quite often, especially when people don't have time, they can easily just scan through a document. They can see that we have a combination of green text and also this text, which is close to, let's say, violet here, and when it comes to color, and the green one again. So they can just skip those, right? Especially when they are locked. This one is not this time, right? So I just wanted to show you how it looks like from the linguist perspective. As I said, sometimes you can simply close the source content. You can only concentrate on target, which in this case is German. So whenever the translation is finished, you can just click finish as a linguist. And today, what we are going to do, we are just going to close this project in XTM just to speed things up. And I would like to show you, so let's assume that everything is done, the translation is ready, everything is translated and reviewed. And so we are skipping the correction here. We can now finish the project in XTM, and I will show you what happens later, okay? So let's go to the actions. Action, finish the project. So now the XTM should trigger sending of content to AEM immediately. And now I can actually refresh my view in the project. And so you should see that it's ready in a second. Now it's already approved, so we have this approval and set as well. It's also possible to automatically approve the translations in AEM. You can skip the review process if needed, but also an important thing to mention here is that it's much better and shouldn't really it's not really recommended to make any changes in the AEM and the translated content, because it will not be sent back to translation memory in XTM. That's why it's much better to resend content and to XTM again, or maybe make some changes in English, for example, and then send it in the same project. So even if it's already closed, and this is something I'm going to do in a second. So the text is already translated. That site actually came back, right? So we can take a look how we actually it looks in the preview. I can now click it, and then I can click on preview insights. So this is our Arctic surfing, let's say, file or a site. And now you see that what we have been doing, I was showing to you, for example, the changes I made. So I added my name and replaced the previous name. So it's already available. So now we are in AEM, right? We can see the preview, and it's available here on the left. And then the translation is automatically pulled from XTM using API, and it's available, obviously, with all the images, which were also visible in XTM. So basically, this is the round tripping between AEM and XTM. Everything should be here in German and automatically sent back. But now I also said some time ago that I will create a project, or will update the project with some changes which I'm going to make in the English content. And I think the easiest way for me to do it is to actually open the English page, so I can do it from here, right? And so this is our English text, right? I would like to make some changes, and I think that's let's just show you what we can do here. I will click edit, and I will add here for a change a different word. So it's going to be northern, Norway, and this time, or maybe even let's put it in the Northern Australia. Okay, I'm making a change, and it's already saved. And what I can do right now, I can close this preview. It's automatically saved, and I have to go to my project. So this is my current project, right? It's already approved. But what I would like to do now, and let me just show it to you. Let's go to that project again, and I have to add a new translation job, right? So I'm adding a translation job. I click submit, and here it's still draft, and then the language wasn't selected yet. So in this view, I'm showing you right now how we can add the language. So actually the same language, German, in order to resend the updated content, or send the updated content to XTM, and I updated the English version, of course. And it's not added yet, right? So I only was able to add the language for now. No page was added, right? So what I have to do, I have to go to my translation job here and add that asset, right? So let's just re-add that asset, and from this WKND site, and let's do the following. We have to select the same site. So let's go to the magazine again, and then quickly select Arctic surfing. I will now click select, and then what happens here is, and that's an important step, I want to update my language copy. So I am updating my language copy, and what will happen right now is that I will now should see the updated content, and then also that specific item should be already let's say sent for translation. Let me just double check how it looks. Let's go to translation. This one I would have to start. And now when I go to my XTM system and click all, I should be able to see an updated file in a second. Yeah, you can see we have the same project, right? And what happened here is that project was reactivated, and I can now go to the workflow, and that additional file is already available now. So obviously, as always with the translation management system like XTM, the existing translation memory will be automatically populated. So it's going to be matched, the whole content. And with that small change, and which you remember I made. So I made a change in English, I changed something in the title, and I would like to now open this file in the visual mode again to show you what happened. Okay, so let's go up. Let's make it, let's say, a 2-column view. And you may remember what we changed here was we added Northern Australia. So we changed the Southern Norway and to actually the Northern Australia. And now, because we use machine translation, and XTM was able to quickly translate it into German. So now our translation is updated. Obviously, when you usually make more changes in the English text, right? So when that updated text or updated site is sent to XTM, as you can see, it's going to be shown in source, and then on the right you will see the translation. And in this case, it's empty, but obviously, if it's the translation memory only that is supposed to be utilized, then obviously you will see the first 2 words already translated. So Aloha Spirits in, and then Northern Australia would have to be changed. So basically, we relied on empty in this case. So it's translated, it's available, and all I have to do here in this project, right? And as you can see, I didn't have to create a new project. I just have to finish it. So I'm now finishing my project after the update. The same could happen with multilingual project. And now I can now refresh my view. It's going through all the stages. Should be finished in a second. It's approved now, right? So what I can do, I can now open my Arctic surfing site and then reveal it in sites. And then I should be able to see it in German, and we can even do it from here. So you can see the title is already translated. And if I now click edit, I will open the editor, the AEM editor. And here we can see we have the translation, which was created in XTM Workbench. We used MT to this end. So first I updated content in English, then I send the updated file, XML file from AEM to XTM, and then the project was simply updated. There was no need to create a new project, which also I think makes sense. You don't have too many projects in your system. We updated the translations, changed the translations a bit, and we finished the project, and then it was sent back to AEM. And after that, I showed you how it can be previewed in sites. So that's the entire round tripping from project creation, then to update of English version, translation of that update in XTM, and then sending it back to AEM. That's the entire process and round tripping.